There it is. There it is. A massively neglected system. The Amazing Engine. System guide by David Zeb Cook. And let me tell you the story here about this and my fascination with it. It was 1990, probably 94. Might have been 95, but I was in my Walden Books for The Great Escape. I love to ride my bike to Walden Books and get out during my high school, mid to late high school years, and it was kind of a dark time for me. And I found escape through TSR and all the campaign products and all the you know, that's when I got my Forgotten Realms campaign box. I got my Dark Sun, my Shining South Forgotten Realms campaign setting, just tons of stuff. And it was, even for the time, it was very affordable. I think a lot of those boxes were $20, and I'd spend a lot of my busboy money on it. And it was just hours of reading this stuff. And even though I didn't really have many people to play with, it was still great for my imagination. This is no exception. And I was always angry because right when TSR was going out, changing hands to Wizards of the Coast, I saw this bad boy, and I'm like, what is that? And basically, it's a system. I mean, just looking at this thing, I was in awe of the Jeff Easley art. I think it's Jeff Easley. What's this? 92. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looks like Jeff Easley. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I'll correct it. But anyway, this I was blown away because of the possibilities. Like, let's read the back, just so it can get you caught up on this. This is the only edition that came out for it, because again, it was near the end of TSR's run. It's epic run, if you will. This is a game system unlike any you've ever played before. I'll say you've ever. In this booklet are the rules you need to create a character core. With that character core, you can create any number of player characters for any number of game universes within the Amazing Engine game system. You can create wizards, mercenaries, alien technologists, xenoform thieves, any kind of character from nearly any kind of fantasy or science fiction setting is possible with these rules and the appropriate universe book. This system guide also explains the rudiments of combat. How does my character hit things and skills? What does my character know? Plentiful examples take you step by step through the character generation process and illustrate the concepts behind the system's skill uses. These rules are designed to be used in conjunction with the universe books. You must have both this booklet and a universe book in order to play within the Amazing Engine's game system. Look for the first 4 universe books coming in 1993, 94. And then these are the big ones. The one they promoted most that I remember is this one here, for Fairy, Queen, and Country. All right, which I have the PDF, because the book, you know, I think it's a fairly big book. It's a lot of pages. And what I thought was interesting is that they didn't go the D&D. They didn't really compete with themselves because they didn't do a straight-up fantasy campaign, really, like a D&D one. And they would just, like what it says here, they did Bug Hunters, which is like their alien kind of world, magic tech. which is technology and magic. Galactus Barrier, which is a sci-fi one. But yeah, this is kind of like, I mean, GURPS was big at the time, but I never played GURPS. I still haven't played GURPS. And I never knew anyone that played GURPS, or it just wasn't a thing where I was growing up. It was all about D&D, first and second edition, a little bit of basic earlier. But yeah, this bad boy, I was really looking forward to playing, and I never thought it would be such a skinny rule book. I mean, look at that. I thought it was a thick book, but I guess not. Now, you know, I know GURPS, you create characters in GURPS and all that, and you can use cross universes and all that, but this is pretty much, I guess, TSR's answer to that. And I've always loved the TSR aesthetic, and that's why I was really jazzed about it. And my mind but just exploded of all the possibilities. Kind of like Mythic, where I would, you know, it was a similar thing where I felt like, wow, you can pretty much do anything with that system, play any kind of character. And with Mythic, you definitely can. And but its campaign is a little, I don't know, it's a little, how do you say, tricksy, I guess. It's a little, there's a learning curve. There's a learning curve to it. So, what I decided to do is eventually get this book on Drive-Thru RPG. And what I did was, I tried to make a one-sheet wonder, and I ended up making a two-sheet. So I got character generation. I got pretty much. I go all the way through. I'm going to go all the way through this and roll up character core, character, and combat here, which is always important to get combat down. And yeah, so I got that all written down here. So, but I'll cover that. But I want to keep going on about this. I'll show you the inner layout of this. Yeah, there's very little pictures. Very little pictures. And it's all pretty much text in these boxes. Now, you got these ability pools that you roll up, and you put in like an order, a specific order of what's most important to you in your characters. And then you kind of, it uses a division system to divide up the numbers. And ranks, use ranks and all that. See right here, you can see the ranking system here, point system, and basically this player core you take from this pool of numbers, and you can only have one character per universe, but you basically, you can see what they got going on down there. Some weird division going on there, but simple. Still very, very different from D&D. And you can take from this and just use the same pool for different universes, which is neat. Well, I think once you get the concept and you make that, you can create a character pretty simply, I think. Now, I've only made one character, which I've already played like a pilot episode with this character for Fairy, Queen and Country, and that system, it's pretty much not really a combat system. It's kind of like a Vaesen before there was Vaesen, and you know, it's kind of like takes place in, you know, Great Britain, but in kind of like a different universe, a different kind of Earth. Like if it was taken over, like if they had to share the land with the supernatural and fairies and all that. And America is a giant penal colony, so it takes place in the Victorian era, but that's a whole nother video. I kind of want to stick to this for now. So, yeah, it's the thing about this system is that it's kind of deceptively simple. It gives off the vibe that it is simple to do. I mean, you look at this is pretty much what you got, and the thing is, I think it's explained kind of in a way that's not as user friendly as it should be. And again, you got a bunch of text walls, and there's no like quick start. This is before the time of quick start, roll up character. There's no adventure included in this, which I thought is a missed opportunity. They should have just had 1 or 2 pages, like a simple sample adventure. Yeah, it takes some figuring out, and that's why I had to write that 1 or 2 page sheet. Set up character generator and all that, so I can really break it down for myself, so I don't have to keep going through flipping through these pages, even though there's not a lot. But the possibilities with this are amazing, and I still want to use it. I still like the way it kind of plays, the mechanics play. I did a little bit of combat at the beginning of the Queen and Country adventure, and the main character, has a shotgun and he's shooting at the wolf. The wolf runs up to him and it's kind of going back and forth. And I kind of like it. Like, it's simple. It kind of gets out of the way of the story, and it's not really crunchy. I mean, each system, each universe book, you can have a crunchy book if you want. Each book kind of brings its own thing to it that's either less crunchy or more crunchy or in between. And that's what's kind of interesting. And I also thought the possibilities of creating a universe book on my own for this would be pretty cool. And I'm thinking maybe a superhero universe of my own with of course, my main character, Rage. And I think that would be a lot of fun. But maybe someday. But once I get the hang of this system more and play some more adventures with it, I'll consider that. I might just write notes in the meantime. But this is a system that has been severely neglected. Not a lot of videos are covering this system. And I really think my channel is about bringing back these systems that, wipe the dust off them and play them. And let's see if they can get some love again, because this one certainly needs it. And I think it still has a lot of possibilities for it, and because the sky's the limit. I mean, this system, it feels very TSR, and I love that. It gets out of the way of the story, but yeah, it just could have been laid out in a way that visually is more appealing. I mean, the text is fine. I mean, the Times New Roman was very, very much of the mid 90s with TSR. And again, it looks simple, but it's kind of tough to really figure it out. And it could have used some bullet points of how to set up your character. But it's all, that's what's so frustrating. I like it, but it's like, if they could just laid it out. But I like this. This is pretty cool. That's a neat little pen and ink. Could have used some more drawings in it though. And here I used my Mythic one sheet to do the adventure with Stanley, who's kind of like a groundskeeper. He kind of does the maintenance, and he lives next to his rich employers, and they're kind of crazy. So, yeah, as you can see, I kind of did this character on one of these cards, not 3x5, but 4x6 card, I think, and gave him some background. I'll be going into that in a separate video. So I'm going to be doing another adventure with him, and again, it's not combat. It's mostly supernatural, either mystery, drama, or comedic, which is kind of a nice, refreshing change from like always combat stuff. It's fine. But I do want to play a combat universe, so I do have another one in the pipeline that I could use. I could do a playthrough video of. But yeah, I mean, you got your range, combat modifiers, damage. It's when it comes to damage, it's all about target areas. Are you aiming for a general area of a person's body, a non-vital area, or a vital? And the vital area is the hardest to hit. You got to roll under. This is a roll under system, percentage system, and yeah. So, and you have stamina and body points. So stamina is kind of like it says, like how many hits you can take before something does damage to your actual body. How much stamina you have that you can withstand, and energy you have to fight somebody off. So that's a big one. And then when you roll like a number that's, I think, an odd number or a target number that they give you, if it's under that number, then it does body damage, pretty much. So that, I'm just kind of giving you some flavor and the gist of what they're going for here. But it's pretty general, pretty wide open for you to play this from this pool and play different universes with it. But it just didn't catch on because it was towards the end of the TSR life cycle. And I remember this was the Spellfire days. Like Magic was getting real big, but I was into Spellfire. And it was just, unfortunately, on its way out, and just didn't have its full potential realized. But the universe books, I mean, they made some universe books, but those I never even saw in store. They might have had this one in Walden's. And Bug Hunters, I don't remember in store. Magic Tick, I don't remember in store. And definitely not Galactos Barrier. But, yeah. So, what a shame. This one needs some love. And like I said, there's only a couple videos on YouTube so far that I've found. There's one about newspaper journalists, like if you worked for the Inquirer or the Star, and you run into the paranormal or something like that, which is, again, it's a really wonky, there's a lot of wonky campaigns for it. Silly campaigns or unusual campaigns. So it does inspire me to make my own universe book, even if it's not even as big as this book, just to kind of experiment more with it. But yeah, so I wanted to kind of explain the reason why I'm doing this book. We need to play our games more, and this is one of them that needs some more love. So yeah, well, that's part one of this amazing engine. I'll go into part two now and kind of explain the rules that it as easily as I can in this 1 or 2 sheet rule book I made. So, which I'm trying to make these for every system that I can't quite, grasp, or I can't fully get my head around, or I just want to make it simpler. So here we go.